I had mentioned, with the unsigned senior and pro case, and obviously the Super 60R events in Illinois are underway now. And we have some events coming up here this weekend. We're going to O'Hare for, which is usually a pretty big event over at the Bow Dome. The following weekend, we're going to be up in McHenry for the McHenry preseason ID. Then we've got Lockport, St. Louis, Peoria, Chicago, Southern Illinois, like a ton of events all throughout the state, trying to make it easier on those people in different pockets of the state to get to an event. So looking forward to those. But yeah, I mean, the Super 60 and Pro Case, like Drew mentioned, were awesome. We had a lot of fun at them, a lot of good players, just good seeing everybody. And I mean, is there really anything else, Def, like that happened? I know officially Ryan Presley is on the Cubs. I know last week when we talked, it was kind of like a not for sure done deal, but it was solidified. Yeah, is there anything else happening around baseball right now, or is it kind of a dead period?
Yeah, I mean, pitchers and catchers, depending on the team. Like, I know the Reds report a week from yesterday, so next Monday. So that's right around the corner. Spring training's almost here. It's awesome because like once the Super Bowl ends, MLB's like ready to go, which is always nice if you're a fan of those two sports. But no, I mean, we were talking a little bit before we got on here, Gab. Just, Cubs are kind of the betting favorite to win the Central this year. I don't know how you three feel about that, but you sent over a note about the Pacoda projections, which is just a projection system that they run projections on division winners, playoff, all that stuff. So looks like the Cubs might be the team to beat in the Central. So I don't know how. I feel like Drew probably has something on
No,
that.
I mean that's great to hear if that's what they're thinking. I want quality sports in Chicago. That is kind of being raised here. Like that is just it's something. Whether it was in the '90s when I was growing up, we always had Jordan. We had a couple really good years with the Bears in like the 2000s with Urlacher, Matt Forte, and others. So like. I just want Chicago sports to be relevant. I want the Bulls. I know they made a trade like Zach LaVine. They offloaded him. I don't know the mindset behind any of these organizations and what's going on. I just know a lot of them are not winning at a high clip right now. The Blackhawks, same deal. So yeah, hey, if the Cubs get it going, like I'm all for it. I was gonna mention how I saw like this Jim Edmonds tweet and comment that he made about the Cardinals. And I know with the whole last like 2 years and the new manager and just it has not seemed as buttoned up down there as I've seen it in the past. Like that's an
What's
organization
this?
you never heard anything coming out on.
What's this Jim
Have you
Edmonds
heard
tweet?
it?
Do I need to? No. Do I need to look
He
this
was
up?
just basically talking about how he's not really sure what's going on down there. He doesn't feel welcomed. It's just a dynamic shift, is what it seems like. And I don't want to speak on it. It's one thing you see on social media. Like I don't want to say good, bad, indifferent. It just kind of raised my eyebrows. Like, huh? I wonder what's going on. So that was something that caught my eye in that NL Central division, talking about that. But no, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the MLB. I don't think, I think there's still things that are going to happen. I'm hoping so. We'll see what happens with the White Sox up here, if they're going to make any more moves, if some of these young guys are going to get promoted really early. So yeah, that was just kind of my takeaway. I was a little surprised to see Jim Edmonds have that take.
Well, go ahead, Pete.
No, Dep, how accurate has the Pacoda rankings been in the past?
I mean,
I've never even heard of it before.
MLB is such a crapshoot. Like I was telling Gavin about that beforehand. Like the projections are going off, what's on paper right now, right? Like, and it makes sense with the Cubs. Like that lineup is ridiculous, especially when you add Kyle Tucker. But say Justin Steele or Imanaga miss a month or two, right? Like, then all those projections kind of go out the window. So it's something that, gives MLB fans something to complain about or brag about on social media during the dead period, I feel like. So, I don't know. They're all a crapshoot.
I like it as an indicator, right? Like, hey, they think the Cubs are pretty strong. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that can take place over 162 games. But yeah, you always like to see that. So,
And I was just gonna mention one last thing on the Sox. MLB Pipeline released like their top prospects by position, and Noah Schultz, our guy from Illinois, was rated as the top left-handed prospect in all of baseball. So
I
I don't know if
saw
he'll
that,
get up this year or maybe towards the end of the year. I would imagine he's probably going to start in Double A or maybe even Triple A. So no, I thought that was really cool.
Well,
Wolcow's not far behind him either. I mean, like, obviously different position, but I know Wolcow's like pretty high up there, organizational chart at least.
I was just gonna say, and Def, I know we've talked about this a little bit right before this, but also with the Cubs, Alex Bregman, I have seen things that there's a chance. Def, I know you said that it's probably not going to happen from what you've seen, but that would be awesome if they could get him as well. So we'll see.
The one guy I wanted to mention in the White Sox organization is Colson Montgomery. He's a left-hand hitting shortstop, and he's not from Illinois, but he's from Indiana. And I remember him in high school because our Indiana guys loved him. And I remember them telling me about him, that he was going to be a first rounder, all this stuff. And really excited to see what he can do, because he was another one of those guys. I think he was like a big-time basketball player in high school as well. But Colson Montgomery, for me, like, that's kind of my pick to click to, as far as their prospects, to really make a statement fairly early on. So we'll see what happens. But there's opportunities in that organization, I feel like, to